The Yavapai Apache Nation today is located about 100 miles north of Phoenix on I-17.
We're in the Verde Valley, where we're connected to Camp Verde, Sedona, Cottonwood, and Jerome, Clarkdale.
What we consider as one reservation are parcels made up of 5 parcels, anywhere from 2.9 acres to the biggest parcel, which is probably around 1,100 acres. Today's enrollment on the tribal enrollment list is pretty close to 2,600. Our elders say that it is a long time, at least in the Verde Valley. The Yavapais and the Apaches have been living together. So there's a mixture of blood. On the rolls, there's no separation. Yavapais do have an origin story about coming out of Montezuma Wells, and so do we as the Deljan Apaches. Between the two tribes, we basically roamed all of what could be considered central Arizona, all the way out to the Colorado River. It was quite an extensive country that was ours, and now we're down to something like 2 to 3 square miles. If you're going to come and visit us, and it's not just a sightseeing trip, and you want some substance to your sightseeing trip, one of the places to start would be the Cultural Center. And we'll tell you about some of these lands that are outside of our jurisdiction, but in our hearts that are still our land. We got a reservation in 1871. In 1875, that treaty was reneged upon so that the people were marched under terrible conditions to San Carlos. In February, during the snow melts, when the rivers were running high, and a lot of our people died on that. But those that kept going were the strong. The statue that will eventually be put out in front of the Cultural Center is a project called the Exodus Monument. There's a story about one of the older men had a wife that was crippled, and so he took a burden basket and put some holes in the burden basket so that he could carry his wife. He was able to carry that burden for 180 miles, which again proves that our people were tough, caring, and they wanted to live. When they came home, they had no place to go to because all the land that they used to own was taken over by the ranchers and farmers. So they became homeless people. But through the help of other good citizens, they were able to be given a small piece of reservation of only 18 acres. That's the size of 18 football fields. And from 1909 through 1996, we're under poverty conditions, but still survived until the casino day came in, and some of the benefits of finally having a resource, economic resource, is where we are today.
The casino has really contributed to this valley. They're the biggest employer of the valley.
We have 500 jobs, and I believe only about 14% of those jobs at the casino are tribal members. So that means about 86% of the people working in the casino are off the reservation.
And they've given a lot to these communities in the valley, Sedona, Camp Verde, Clarkdale, Cottonwood, Jerome. They've really given these communities money that they use however way they want to use it. Sometimes a tribe will, make a little direction and say, we'd like it to go to the schools because our children attend all your schools. And they give a lot to the community, they give a lot to the state. And I think that's very good for the tribe. Today's language is changing very rapidly and quickly. And we want to work with our elders to grasp that. But because they don't talk to each other in the language, they speak English to their grandchildren, they speak English in their homes, they are also forgetting the language. This is the Yavapai Apache Nations, a resource center and a reference center for people of a tribe or anyone who's interested. We have our technology program, and with limited budgets, we produce language books, story books for the children, for people to see.
My name is Judy Piner. I work at the Yavapai Apache Cultural Resource Center, and my department is Preservation and Technology. And what that means is that I work to support the culture managers, both Yavapai and Apache, and the language instructors in using technology. So whenever they have a need, whatever they would like, I try to produce it for them if I'm able. We work on various booklets. I have several in production right now about little children's booklets that will be done in the language so that the children can learn about tradition, about language and culture.
My name is Elizabeth Rocha, and I work with Vincent Randall. This is a language book that I put together for my teaching, and it goes from by the number. I have 20 lessons in there according to numbers to 1,000. It's a long process. My sister and I, she's gone, Rebecca Pavatia, her and I, we started a small language class from bottom up. We did everything on our own, and when the casino came in, they gave us some funding to start, and then that's where it all started. It was 1994, somewhere around there. We used to stay up at nights and write. I do the writing. My sister helps me along. I had my other sister, younger sister, to help too, and my brother. And we just did it just because the language was going. We just did it out of our heart. I teach one-on-one. They come here, and then I teach them. I think I would be really happy if, all my grandkids, my nieces, my nephews, and my relatives all learn to speak the Apache language. It's unique.